I'm Mike Hayne, and I'm talking to you. This is extremely difficult. I am very sick. I am in a nursing home, a beautiful nursing home. Today is August 14th, Wednesday. The temperature, 82 degrees Fahrenheit at 6:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. I do not watch TV. I never have watched TV for the past 40 years, 50 years. And that's very important. People need to know that. I'm 70 years old. I'm among the poor. And all the poor are in it together. This is similar to the previous times, like the French Revolution. And the distinction between the rich and the poor has to be like that. And the question we ask God is why? And there's no answer. Why does a civilization grow, become beautiful, then decline? Now, 1977, that was the year when Robert Matthews was 19, and he was a fury. Trafficking Mexicans from the border, now you owe us $500. We're going to open a janitorial service in One Shell Plaza. How convenient for Matthews that there was no mafia already doing that in Houston. What a bum. He was 5'5". I always mention that because I was 5'6". We didn't wear glasses. We were strong, athletic, handsome. But Matthews was a psychopath. He came from a broken home, and he was filled with viciousness. But he was cute, 5'5", blonde, athletic, handsome. Just like me, 5'6". We had all the girls and all the friends we'd ever wanted. But Matthews was a psychopath. He liked hurting people. So when he invited the girls to parties, they went, and then they got introduced to sex. I was what they call a sociopath. That means I did my grades, I was in class, I thought we're all in it, we're all equal. I'm doing my grades, I got the top grades. I don't really care about the person in the next seat. That's called sociopath. Psychopath is called the one that likes to hurt others. I knew one person in Houston in 1986 that was so crazy, he rooted for Jason. I never saw these crappy movies. I would never watch this. In Friday the 13th, where the guy goes around, and I imagine they have teenage girls at a resort, and then the guy jumps outstairs. My friend Kenny in Houston in 1986 was so crazy, such a psychopath, such a cruel, evil human being. He rooted for the guy that was running out, and I guess they showed a stabbing and things, and the girls are wearing bikinis. Anyone that would say that about me would be a liar. I'm 70 years old, and I'm in a beautiful nursing home. My brother died in San Quentin at the age of 70. He was a murderer, and he was one of the ones who always says he wanted to play drums, he wanted to be like the Beatles, he wanted people to be popular. I was already popular. He wanted to be famous. Yeah, playing drums. I never saw a book in my brother's possession. My family had all kinds of magazines, Life, Time, Newsweek, Reader's Digest. And when they arrived, I read them. My father had 100 books on his shelf. I read them. I never saw a book in the possession of either one of my brothers or Robert Matthews. They did not read books. They did not believe in God. They're too smart. I always believed, since I was 1967. So anyway, the 1977 stories are after I got off probation, and immediately Matthews and the gang came and got me. I was an excellent guitar player in Houston. And we went to I told these stories already, the brothel, the human trafficking, the janitorial service, the money laundering. And then he says, I'm going to buy houses and real estate. And that's when I left. I said, get away from me. Don't even talk to me again, you moron. I'm the best guitar player in Houston because I play every day because we didn't have video games. After school, I play guitar for 2 hours a day. I'm going to get real estate. Yeah, fucking retard. Sorry for the language. I'm Mike Hayne, and I'm talking to you. There were 4 burglaries in 1973 when I was 19 and Matthews was 16. My mother died. If she had not died, that would have been very nice. Unexpectedly, my best friend, I never got a chance to say goodbye to her. Horror. Horror. And my father was already dating another woman. Moved her into the house. He was a jerk. Probably affected by the media, even him at his stage. A World War II guy. And very successful with the American dream. Getting the house. Getting the family. Although, how did he keep the family? By bullying the mother. The mother was loving. She couldn't understand why he was so rejecting and hard. So, in 1973, when I was 19, I got kicked out of the house. I had an apartment. Apartment was $150 a month, brand new, 1 bedroom. Already had money because I had been working after I graduated from high school. Immediately, the apartment was filled up during the day while I was going out looking for jobs or getting a job with juvenile delinquents. Matthews, 1973, me, 19, mother just died. Matthews, 16. The entire apartment, no furniture, filled up with girls, boys, rock stars. You couldn't have marijuana. You couldn't travel from California to Houston to do a rock concert and be carrying marijuana. The famous case was the black guy, Huey Newton, I think his name was. And everybody would talk about how he got life imprisonment for 1 marijuana cigarette. I only got 8 minutes left or less, 7 minutes. There were 4 burglaries in 1973. The first one, I was hanging around with the whole gang on the streets of Spring Shadows housing development, a new housing development, beautiful. No black people, too, in those days. Ku Klux Klan was around, but I had the feeling they weren't powerful in Houston, since Houston was a government town where my father worked. And Ku Klux Klan was in Dallas or New Orleans. NASA, Texaco, the oil companies, the people that built the tanks for the Vietnam War, Cameron Iron Works, that was Houston. It's not mafia. So, I'm hanging around with all these juvenile delinquents. I'm 19, and one of them says, come over here. And we went behind the house, and he says, punch in this window of this door, and then unlock the door. And I punched it, and by surprise, it broke. And we went in, and we ate a sandwich or something. Nothing was really stolen. Burglary 1, 1973, age 19. The second one was in a townhouse across the street from Springwoods High School. And I found out later, in that complex of townhouses, the girl I love, Pam, from my school, lived in that townhouse. I never knew that. And then in the other townhouse, the back door was open. See, now in the first burglary, somebody else was the leader. In the second burglary, the townhouse, the back door was open. We went through. We came out, didn't steal anything. And somebody said the name was Cox, C-O-X. But somebody else was the leader of that. I followed them. The third burglary was Spring Shadows Housing Development. I was the leader, and Matthews, the 16-year-old, was the follower. And we jumped the fence, did the same thing, went into the house, and there was no furniture. It was brand new. And we had the feeling somebody was going to move in. So he went to another room, and I went to a middle room and opened the door of a cabinet, a closet, and found an 1886 silver dollar in the type of paper it is when it's a valuable coin. And this was the child's bedroom. So think about that. I feel guilty to this day of that. That was a new house. They had maybe put the coins in every room. Maybe Matthews found one in the other room. It didn't tell me. So that was the third burglary. Now I was the leader. The other ones, we were on LSD. We were juvenile delinquents, and that brings up all kinds of thoughts. Purple microdot, LSD. Green, LSD. You figure it out. Then the fourth burglary was, we were starving. We had been starving for 3 days. A guy's name was literally Johnny Junkie. And I was the leader. In those days, a portable 12-inch TV set cost $100 because I had one. I had bought for $100 from my paper route. And I found that in this house. I later realized it was Debbie Castleberry's house. I had not thought that. I had not thought about that until later. I wouldn't have done it if I had realized it was her house. And Johnny Junkie and I went in. I stole a portable television set and we sold it for $50, and then we ate at Dairy Queen. There was no get free food from the government or any of that. It did exist at that time, but we didn't know anything about it. If you starved, you starved. So you see, in the first 2 burglaries, somebody else was the leader. And we were on LSD, and nothing was stolen. In the next 2 burglaries, in the Spring Shadows Housing Development, I was the leader. And we stole things. I stole that 1886 silver dollar, and then I stole that TV. And these stories are so long, I got so many details, that I'm going to have to again talk about the 5th burglary that happened in 1973, which was a big one, and a setup, probably. Always remembering that there was something going on among what we would be called hippies in those neighborhoods with LSD. You figure it out.